everybody, and welcome to AITA Pod. I'm Shannon D.
And I'm Jake Davis. I'm in Shannon's seat.
Yep. And I'm in Danny's seat.
Wow.
Who's in Jake's seat?
Nobody.
Garfield
or Garforkel's out getting smokes, he said.
Oh, yeah, he is. We've been trying to get him to stop.
Yeah, he's got a problem.
He stinks up the whole place.
It just reeks of tobacco.
He really does. It's disgusting.
His brand is Virginia Slims, which is hard to find nowadays.
I was just thinking about that the other day. Are those still around?
I have no idea. I'm not up on the tobacco products that are out right now. They must have... I can't imagine, really the real heroes of society are people who work in marketing for big tobacco.
I know, seriously. They're working hard.
They got, okay, guys, we can't use colors. We got to tell everybody that it kills you. We got to, they have so many rules.
Yeah, wait, there's a no color rule?
No, I think in some countries, and I know like it's way stricter in other places than it is here.
Yeah, well, they don't even have warning labels here like they do in other countries.
Not in the way they do in other countries, yeah.
Well, we had talked about Joe Camel before, but what a crazy marketing scheme back then. I mean, I loved him.
Yeah.
I'm surprised I wasn't trying to smoke cigs at like 9 years old.
That was the first thing I thought when you said that, of like, well, I guess it worked. Because if you look at a lot of the old art that he was in, it was him doing cool stuff, but it was just so strange thinking about a camel in a pool hall in a leather jacket and like a camel in his chic apartment lounging back listening to record or playing piano.
Right.
Yeah.
There was something about him though. He's very mysterious.
Are you sexually attracted to Joe Camel?
You know what? I might be. Virginia Slims. I don't know. They're very chic. I do not promote, but there's something about they're very elegant
option.
They are. And a little less tobacco.
Is that how they were marketing?
Unless they're just way longer.
We're doing the marketing for them at this point.
We are. Kids, don't smoke.
Don't do it. It's bad for you.
It's bad for you.
But it will make you look cool.
So cool.
You'll look so fucking cool. You won't believe it.
There's got to be some fake ones out there that
fake cigarettes?
Well, there are for movies.
Oh, yeah.
Because I've done the like herbal ones.
Yeah.
They still kind of do make you have a like little bit of a head rush.
Okay.
But I don't think they're quite as bad for you, and they don't have nicotine in them.
Well, and I remember it back in my shopping mall days, like what's that prank shop called? The Spencer's. Spencer's Gifts.
Yeah,
Spencer's Gifts and Hot Topic would sell these like fake cigarette, like they would be like these little cigarettes that if you inhaled on it, it would make the tip glow. It was like a fake plastic cigarette. I remember those having a moment at my middle school where everybody thought they were the funniest thing ever.
Yeah.
And
Now, were they allowed?
No, nothing was allowed at my middle school. Pokemon cards weren't allowed at my middle school.
Really?
Yeah, it's funny because they pitched it like we don't want kids getting in fights over these Pokemon cards, but I found out later that my mom learned at a PTA meeting it's because it was a Christian school, and this school straight up said, well, it's teaching the theory of evolution. And it's straight up like this school thought that, well, that fire lizard turns into a bigger fire lizard and that turns into a fire dragon. That's that's evolution. They're calling it evolution. We got to get this out of the school. So absurd reason to keep it out of the education. Yeah.
Wow. Pokemon cards and cigarettes, kids, stay away.
You can't smoke Pokemon cards.
You can't. Well, you could maybe roll them up.
I don't think it'd be a fun experience.
No,
There's a lot of dye in there, a lot of plastic.
Yeah. Either way, none of that.
None of it.
None of that.
Don't do it.
Well, we have a little bit of a theme here again.
Themes.
We are doing Black Friday.
The dreaded Black Friday.
I know.
The devil's shopping moment.
Oh, yeah. Yep. I was never a fan, I have to say.
Yeah.
Like, my mom always was like, because she used to work in retail. Retail. And so she was always like so against doing that.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
She's like, no, we are not going to spend like, because you're usually off at that time.
Right.
Like it's like a little bit of a vacation kind of thing, even if you're at home, a holiday, if you will. And so she was like, yeah, we are not going to do that. And this was like before the internet was online shopping. Like now I'll partake for sure.
Sure.
But I've just never really been that kind of person that like scours for deals. I mean, I love like discount codes. I do always like often try to find those, but Yeah, what are your thoughts?
I worked one Black Friday in big box retail at a Best Buy, and that was enough for me.
I
Because
bet.
before that, I was never a Black Friday person. Like, I'm loaded with turkey and mashed potatoes. The last thing I want to go do is fight crowds. That sounds miserable to me.
Miserable.
So the one year that I had to work, because it's not just Black Friday, it's Thanksgiving night too, and that's the crazy part. Is now it's just like 8 p.m. Thanksgiving. Black Friday has started.
Yeah, who is doing that?
A lot of people, sadly. It was crazy how many people were doing it. Wow. And a lot of it would be scalpers too, like people who buy stuff and then resell it, just banking on this product's going to be sold out for the holidays. So then they upsell it. And you feel really shitty selling like 20 PlayStation 4s to one person who's just going to flip them on the market. And
they don't have a limit or anything?
No, some places do now because of the shortage that got started with PS5s. Like, that was a whole thing when the PS5 dropped, that people were buying so many of them that some stores just started being like 2 per customer maximum. We're not going to do any more than that. Yeah, and I will say my retail experience at Black Friday wasn't the nightmare that I've heard it be at a lot of other places, but also I think Best Buy was very organized about how they approached it. They inserted order before you even got into the store. Like, the doors didn't just open. There was a single file line, and they were doing like head count as people walked in. Yeah. So they were sort of managing expectations of the crowd once you got there, of just like, you just trickle everybody in, no rush, no big like push. I did get the weakest pep talk of my professional career from the general manager of this Best Buy, who was clearly trying to hype us all up for this. Yeah. He was just walking in front of the whole team and just, like we're about to play a football game, and it's just like, now I know a lot of you want to be with your families at home and like that stuff. And he's doing this big hype up, and a lot of people, I can tell, are like kind of getting revved up by it. And it's just like, okay, is this going to be crazy? And then the doors open, and it's just like, one person, because they had it so organized. So it was just like, that was really high energy for how like low stakes this is right now.
Be like a war that we're entering right now.
It wasn't that bad, but day 2, the actual day of Black Friday, I had a horrible blister on my heel, and then like a chafed part on my like inner thigh, and it hurt so much to walk. And the last like 5 hours of this shift, I've worked way harder jobs than big box retail, or like more physically demanding jobs.
Right.
This was the most like annoying pain, not the worst pain I've ever been in on the job, but just in terms of like, this is making this so much dumber. I just want to go home and put ice on this blister. Like,
how long was the shift?
It was I worked 10 hours that day, but it was good
overnight?
Money. No, not overnight. It was 8 p.m. till I think 11, or no, sorry. It was like 7 to 11 on Thanksgiving Day, which, not that bad, but it still sucks to have to leave your family and go work.
Yeah.
And then the next day was like opening till almost to close. It was a long day.
I feel like a lot of, back in the day, from what I've heard, is like the holidays were really just like closed for most businesses, like almost all of them. But like these days, I feel like we don't have days of like rest anymore. Like, even back in the day, like Sundays were straight up like nothing was open.
In a lot of small towns, Sundays are still nothing. Everything, like, you might have 1 or 2 restaurants that are open, and that's it.
I think that's nice.
It is, and I think I think there is sort of a resurgence. I know a lot of places are starting to sort of hold your horses on Black Friday bleeding into Thanksgiving. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I think some of the big box stores are not opening on Thanksgiving. They're just opening on Black Friday, which is helpful. Good.
Well, and also because they have online sales. Right. Like, they don't have to rely on the like specifically Black Friday anymore. And I mean, now it's like, it started out Black Friday, it was just one day, and then it like became Cyber Monday, or like bled into the weekend, and now it's like straight up 2 weeks. I feel like
it's just from really just Halloween to Christmas. It's just nonstop.
Yeah, just deals on deals, which, hey, I love a good deal.
I love a good deal, but I know that there's a contingent of people, and I've never had it explained to me in a way that I understand it, but I've heard a lot of people claim, well, you're not actually saving any money. They're just selling it. Like, this isn't, but it's still like the product is still being sold for less than what it's readily available at most of the time through the year. And I think I've heard somebody say they jack the prices up before Black Friday, so they keep raising the ceiling, and then and like so the floor is higher. But I don't know enough
so
about
then
it.
When it's Black Friday deal, it's like kind of what it was supposed to be anyway.
I guess, but I've never seen any hard proof about it. I've just heard people talk about it, and I don't know if it's one of those like, you know, akin to a schoolyard rumor of just stuff that's like, oh, you know why Marilyn Manson got his lower ribs removed, right?
My God.
That kind of stuff. Which, but how did we all hear that?
The number one rumor. I mean, is it true or is it not
I don't
true?
think I don't. I can't imagine it actually is. It's just crazy how like every school in America at least heard that rumor somehow.
Everyone. I mean, that was like the OG rumor.
Yeah. I'm sure there. I don't know. Did you guys have the one that Mountain Dew lowers your sperm count?
Oh, that's so like vaguely familiar. I don't like. It was not at the top of the list, but it's like somewhere deep in my psyche.
Because I remember at my school in particular, it started off as Mountain Dew makes your penis smaller. And then somebody was like,
I was going to say, that's more of a threat.
That's
like lowering the sperm count, like at least at that age, like who cares how much your sperm
I'm gonna
count
live forever.
is?
I don't care. And that's marketable to me at this point. I'm just like, hey, insurance
Yeah,
policy.
for you. Great. No kids over here.
But I still remember one kid in particular having like at one point just being like, no, you guys are dumb. How could Mountain Dew make your penis smaller? It just lowers your sperm count. And all of us in the 5th grade being like, oh, yeah, of course, that makes sense. What does that mean? I don't know. It's
I wonder if that's true.
I can't imagine it is. You have to market that. I as a rule, I don't believe anything I hear on mainstream media or near a playground.
Yeah, truly. Those middle school rumors. Well, it's just Jake and I again today. Danny's in New York, the Big Apple.
Living it up with the Vega clan.
Yeah, he's hanging out with his parents, hanging out with his bro. I'm sure they're seeing some improv shows.
Yeah, I
some
would hope
of
so.
Andy's improv shows. Shout out. We have to see him at some point.
That would be wonderful.
And seeing, I'm sure, some of his friends. But you just got the show horses again.
And he's religiously opposed to Black Friday, so it's very complicated.
Yeah,
but
that's
he
why
doesn't
we
even
had
believe
to
it exists.
do it while he was gone. Yeah, he's
and we respect that.
Triggered by it. Let's get into some of these sitches.
Why
what do
not?
you say, Jake?
That's what we're here for.
That's what we're here for. Please rate, review, and subscribe. Follow us on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. You can see our beautiful faces. And also, join us on Patreon.
Get on that Patreon.
Patreon.com/AITA pod. We have probably 190 bonus episodes.
If we're not
point.
there at this point, we're counting wrong.
We're very, very close. Yeah, we are. It has to be. So we got a bunch of episodes with Sarah back in the day. I'm sure some guesties. And then you got me and Jake.
Rounding out the top.
What more could you ask for, really? Actually, we just got a review the other day. I think I said this in the group chat, but the review was reviewing back from the Anthony days. This was the first co-host.
Right.
How are you going to judge an entire podcast off of their like first 3 episodes?
Well, they're going through the whole catalog. They'll update us every 50 episodes.
Yeah, we'll have a new review.
Think.
Please, if you're listening, give us a shot, okay?
I would love to get a general consensus of just like ratings every 50 episodes of where the show is at.
Yes.
That'd be some fun feedback.
Yeah, because you can update your reviews. So if you have ever given us a bad review, give us a good one. What are you doing?
That'll win them over.
Okay, so our second story of the day, AITA for refusing to help my sister get gifts for Black Friday. But first, AITA for asking a small business owner to remake my order. On Black Friday, I ordered 2 pairs of earrings from a sweet girl who owns a resin earrings shop. She sent me a picture of her molds and the colors and designs. I told her I wanted the small design on row 5 and the big design on row 8. She lives in the next town over, and I offered to meet her in her town. She insisted that she would drive to my town and meet me. I paid that night and waited. This is where I might be the asshole. It's been 2 weeks, and today was finally a good day for her to meet me. She sent me a picture telling me she thinks she did the order wrong. Asking if it was okay and would I still accept them. I explained to her that she made the larger design from row 5 and that the earrings from row 8 were the wrong color. I just asked if she could remake them and I would drive and meet her in her town next week. She got really upset, saying she was a small business owner, just trying her best, and I should be grateful. I apologized and told her I would wait, but wanted to set up a day next week. I would be guaranteed to have them. She said that was rude and they would be ready soon and I should trust her. Am I the asshole?
This is the most polite customer I've ever met. You have no reason to feel bad about how you're communicating in this situation.
It's like usually the other way around, I would say. It's like the customers being the Karen and the small business owners like, oh, Lord, what am I dealing with?
The phrase "the customer is always right" has gotten absolutely butchered over the years. Do you know the origins of that phrase? Actually, it's gotten twisted. The customer is always right is actually it's kind of a snarky sales line. The idea is that if a customer says something dumb or is misinformed or is willing to pay more than they should for the market rate of something, it comes primarily out of car sales, from what I understand. Okay. The idea is like, oh, well, customer's always right. And it's this like little wink of like, I don't have to tell you that you're wrong if you want to pay more for a product that I'm selling. And it's somehow gotten, I guess not twisted. At this point now we make it mean, well, whatever the customer wants, the customer gets. But in reality, when you say that, at least as far as the origins of the phrase go, it's really more of a slam on yourself that you don't know what you're talking about and like you're going to get bamboozled by anybody who can take advantage of you. But in this case, the customer is right. And
she even said that she was right. Like she literally was like, I think I made your order wrong.
You admitted to it and you're still upset that you're being asked to make good on it.
And also it's like, I understand her wanting to ask and be like, is this okay instead? But I mean, once you realize your mistake, I feel like she shouldn't have even gone to the customer and she just should have remade them.
Absolutely.
I mean, maybe told her like, hey, I'm so sorry. I messed up your order. I'm going to remake them and like I'll deliver to them you like as soon as I can.
Right. Because word of mouth is everything for a business like this.
Especially a small one.
If you do right by this customer, you could get 3-4 more people based off of the experience that you had.
Right.
And I don't know about...
And a continued customer in her.
Absolutely. And you know, have you ever been in a situation where a business did wrong by you and you were still willing to meet them halfway, or in this case, literally meet them all the way and drive to their town to pick up the replacement order?
I definitely don't think I've ever like driven to go pick up something unless it was like a Facebook Marketplace like thing where it was like a closer kind of pickup. Not that I can think of, but I probably would be somewhat reacting the same way as her, because like at times I can definitely be a bit of a pushover and just like, okay, like I'll inconvenience myself, or I'd try and convince myself like, well, I guess the design in row 8 is not as bad as, you know, and just to, especially if she's kind of being like pushy about it too.
Yeah. And
what about you?
I'm kind of in the same boat as you, where not necessarily a pushover, but I just like to make everybody's life easier. And if I know I'm dealing with one individual person rather than like a whole network of people, it'd probably be a little bit harder for me to be super chill about a mistake like this. But I think I still would be, just because mistakes happen. You know, you're trying to run a business. But the second you hit me with, I'm a small business owner, and you're coming at me for you making a mistake, it's just kind of like, well, yeah, you own the business, so you kind of got to make good on this, Buster.
Saw a comment at one point being like, you know, like she's not a small business, like she's a business owner. Like at the end of the day, you're still a business owner. Like, yes, I understand it's small, so like you want to try and, you know, not screw them over and things like that. And you want to be more conscious than if it's a big box corporation that has like a shit ton of insurance, that has like, you know, they account for cost, profit, loss, etc. But like at the end of the day, you still have to be like, you know, your customer service like needs to be top priority, and like the product that you're putting out there needs to be up to par.
It's funny that you mention that now because I'm realizing like there's literally you saying you're a small business. There's nobody else that could have made this mistake. It's just you.
Right.
Like when I was at Best Buy, people would get upset at me over something, a missing component or something in their laptop box. And it's like, I don't work for Hewlett Packard.
Yeah.
I'm not involved in the decision makings past what happens at the register, my friend.
Exactly. So you can kind of like, shift give it to your manager, shift the blame a little bit. But in this case, like, yeah, it's straight up her problem.
Yeah, you gotta
fix it.
You gotta make it right. That's how you keep the business coming in. See, Aquasaur X says NTA exactly how are you rude by refusing to accept something you didn't order. If she is a small business owner, I would expect she could keep her orders straight.
Right.
It's echoing what you said just now. I gotta say, there's not really a leg for the shop owner to stand on, and usually I'm all for defending a small business, but like there's nobody else for you to blame in this situation but yourself.
Like I think she should have even been like, "Hey, I made your order wrong. I'm gonna throw the ones in that I fucked up in for free.
You're right.
Give them as a gift or keep them if you like them. Like, let people know. I don't know. Like, I just feel like there's so many better ways instead of like making your customer like feel like shit. And she even offered to drive to the next town to meet you.
Yeah, that's where the attitude, you really lose me because the customer's going above and beyond to help you make good on this situation when it's entirely your fault. I do love the audacity of somebody just like going full Jason Statham on somebody.
Right, I'm a small business owner, and you're going to come at me with this claptrap. What about me making a mistake? Maybe you bought them wrong.
Yeah. Just like totally shifting blame here. Well, I mean, I think there's no dings we can give to OP. So I think AITA for asking a small business owner to remake my order. Big old NTA. And she is. And good on you for even like trying to accommodate this woman, but she should have definitely been, trying to accommodate you because also the order is delayed on top of it.
Yeah, that too. And she's not even upset about that. Might be a small business, but it's a big YTA shop owner.
Oh, it sure is. All right, here's Jake.
AITA for refusing to help my sister get gifts for Black Friday. I, 24F, work retail. My sister, 29F, has always looked down on me for it. She has said everything from I threw my life away by not going to college to I wouldn't know what word hark is because I only work retail.
Wait. You said like Herkward or something like that.
What's that?
You said Ward Hork instead of work hard
I
or
did?
something like that.
Oh my God. Okay. I wouldn't know what hard work is because I only work retail. One time, she even interrupted a conversation I was having with her mother-in-law, who was inquiring about the treatment of teen employees where I work because her nephew was looking for a job. She interrupted just to say, I shouldn't be offering help to anyone when I have a kiddie job. I mostly just don't talk to her at this point, and I try to pretend she's not speaking whenever she's talking. This year has been rough on everyone, and she lost her job. Her husband's company issued company-wide pay cuts, so money has been tight for them across the board. I was working Black Friday this year, like always, and 2 weeks ago, my sister asked me if I could pick her up some bargains since I would have access to them. I said no. I told her she doesn't get to look down on me and insult me and how hard I work and then try to benefit off of it. She said she was sorry and she wouldn't do it again, but it didn't feel genuine to me, so I stuck to my no. She's saying I'm an asshole now because I wouldn't help her and that I should have thought of her kids and the extended family. My nephews will all have gifts. I got them stuff for me, but I don't feel like I owe my sister after everything. Is that wrong of me?
This sister.
The gall.
The
audacity.
gumption. I can't stand her.
And I think that this is I've run into this attitude a lot in America where, and I don't know if this is something that happens abroad. I can only speak from what I've experienced, but there's a lot of hierarchies and a lot of these jobs are up here, these jobs are down here.
Toxic.
It's really toxic, and it's really just everybody kind of projecting their own insecurities about what they're doing and trying to, create a sense of satisfaction with whatever their professional pursuits are. But I think it's crazy that I know that there are places in the world where the idea of perfection and the idea of professionalism applies to all walks, all types of work. So you can become a truly professional, a true high-end retail expert in some places. And I think that you see that sometimes in high-end shopping, but this idea that retail is a job for children, which, you know, we see here with Kitty Job, it's so damaging, and it's such a shitty way to cut off a section of the population from being able to find long-term satisfaction in what they're doing for a living.
Exactly. I mean, she could truly enjoy what she's doing.
Right.
And I mean, as you were saying, like, there is also an insane amount of money that can be made in retail. But regardless, America is so obsessed with, like, how much money you make and hustle culture. And it's so toxic, and people just, like, value their worth with, like, the amount of money that they're making. Yep. And regardless of how much money she's making, she's working. Like, she's a working member of society. And I feel like a lot of times, you know, looking down on these jobs, a lot of times people won't even take these jobs because they, like, find it embarrassing. And it's like, I think it's more embarrassing that you're, like, not working and you're slumming it off your parents or whatever, you know?
I think it takes a lot of a complete lack of self-awareness to have that attitude, to make it a repeated point that you keep bringing up involving your sister, not even a cousin. For a second, I forgot they were sisters and was about to say cousin. Your own sister. You are now suddenly in hard times, and you're asking for handouts from this person that you've been shitting on all this time.
Exactly.
And also, I don't know, it just shows how little the older sister actually knows about how this stuff works, but shops make it really hard for employees to really take advantage of Black Friday deals until their shift is over that day. So you're really going with the scraps. Like, I know most places, any discount that you normally have doesn't apply on Black Friday, and you can just buy stuff at the normal prices. But I remember doing the math when I was working my job, and there was only so many products that it actually made sense for me to, like, I think I got some headphones that were pretty nice, and that was kind of like the limit of what I got for myself that day. Just because everything else, it was just like, 15% off, big whoop. That's not a ton of savings.
It's like, why don't you just come to Black Friday? Like, why am I doing this for you?
That too is like, she doesn't have an inside track for it. No. You're just asking her to take more time from her very stressful day and make it about you after you've been shitting on her all this time.
Yeah, you show up, and it's like, maybe she thinks that it's going to be her discount on top of it, but as you were saying, that's not common practice. I mean, usually anytime something's on sale, I feel like you don't get the double discount.
Right.
And then trying to be like, well, now my kids aren't going to have anything for, like, she kind of was implying that, right?
Definitely getting on the guilt train there. Yeah. You should have thought of my kids and the extended family. Like,
no, how about you're the one that needs to figure out your own shopping?
Yeah, I think that, you're in a tight position here. As we always say, money's real. You should be the one accounting for this reality. If it's really important for you to provide a good Christmas, good holiday for your children, you're the one who needs to get in front of this and figure out answers. You can't just on a whim expect other people to drop what they're doing and go out of their way to accommodate you.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I guess if this OP was a saint, I guess she could have helped her out because she knows that she's down on hard times, and the husband is too, and, like, her nephews, etc. But again, I don't see how her taking time out of her own day is any better than you just going to the shop that day. Well, I don't I mean, maybe this is a totally different structure than how Best Buy was. Like, maybe she does have access to these better deals, or she is getting a discount on top of it, but should have thought about that before you were talking shit about her job all these years.
That's a very generous read on your part. I just think older sister doesn't know shit about shit because she hasn't had to be a part of the world, really. If I do think I have a bit of a judgmental read on people who are this dismissive and condescending about whatever somebody does for a living, because it's like you were saying earlier, every job is valid. Every job is worthwhile. Some jobs are better than others, obviously.
Yeah.
And I think, too, you're talking about hustle culture. I think that there's this set expectation now, especially for people in their early 20s working in a lot of jobs, like even serving, working in retail, a lot of these, quote, entry level jobs where you're doing it to work into a better position. And, with a lot of people I knew in retail, they were angling to do what I've done, which is work from retail to get into sales. And that makes a lot of natural sense. But I also kind of wish that I had more of an idea about how I could become professional, expert retail work. And I think a lot of people, they just see that as becoming a manager, but those are two different things.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I feel like the older sister set herself up for failure on this one, and she's learning the hard way.
Yep, she is. I mean, I hope she learns. She seems like the type that's going to be playing the victim and complaining to everyone about it. But, because I was a server for a long time, and then I always do like random gigs still too. And not really anymore, honestly, but I used to be like pretty, I guess, like embarrassed about it. And I think because I've always been like working towards another career, I was like, I don't know. It was so complicated. I guess because like I wasn't having any for a period of time, like was not having like any success in like acting and all of that stuff, that it was like more shameful for me, because then I was like, well, yeah, like I'm doing this in the meantime, but like I've been doing it for years now, but I haven't gotten like anything. And I think just like the older I got, I was like, you know what? I should be proud of the work that I do because I'm working towards something, and every job is valid, and again, like I was saying earlier, like it's better than having no job and like trying to just like mooch off of people or
Yeah, and I mean, so you're actually reminding me now too. When I was working this retail job, I do remember being embarrassed to tell people about what I was doing because of these built-in connotations that they had.
Yep.
But that job wound up translating to that higher-end retail position where I was managing that shop on the end of the pier,
Right.
and I was really proud of that position because I worked so hard to get it. And I remember one time, two people I knew came into the shop, and they weren't dicks about it or anything, but I do remember I was thrilled to be showing them the shop that I run and introducing them to my team. And
the $80 candles.
It's very expensive candles. We had $90 ones, we had $250 ones, all sorts of price candles. But I remember when they were leaving, one of them puts their hand on my shoulder and is just like, "Hey man, you're gonna figure it out." And they didn't mean it to be, but it was clearly this condescending, like,
Yes.
"Oh, this is just what you're doing for now." But I genuinely loved what I was doing,
and then it made you feel like shit.
Yeah, I didn't let it get to me in the moment, but that was definitely something that stuck with me for a while. Just like, I guess that job wasn't as good as it didn't look as good as it made me feel. And I did eventually leave that work to go on actually to one of the worst jobs of my life after that.
Yeah.
But that work, for the time that I had it was so unique and so mine. I worked for it and I earned it. That
Yeah.
regardless of it just being retail, it was something I took a lot of pride in. So anybody who's out there right now, if you're working a job that, quote, this is just what you're doing for now, you don't have to take pride in it, but you absolutely can if you're working hard and you're doing your best. And don't, if people shit on you, don't buy stuff for them. Take it from OP here. They can kick rocks and go stand in line on Black Friday on their own.
Exactly. Screw that.
I think we've got our verdict.
Oh, yeah. Big old NTA.
NTA.
AITA for telling my girlfriend she should be buying me gifts for Christmas. So my girlfriend asked me about a week ago, would I be okay if she was not able to get me any gifts this Christmas because of financial hardships? I told her, I don't really care. I understand. I don't need any gifts. Well, fast forward to today. My girlfriend tells me she needs to use my debit card. She lost hers and she was zelling me the money to buy this $62 beanie. Am I the asshole for telling her that she could have spent that $62 on me? By the way, she knows I'm getting her an iPhone 14 Pro Max and a bunch of clothes if that matters. I feel like if you're going to tell me you are not able to afford anything, the least you could do is hide your selfish purchases. She just bought 2 beanies a couple weeks ago, and I bought her a beanie on Black Friday. This is her 4th beanie.
How many beanies does this gal need?
So many beanies.
She is the beanie baby.
She is the beanie baby.
And we found her. This is the one that they were making all them beanie babies over.
She's got a little Princess Diana beanie going on.
Worth thousands.
Worth a lot.
Yeah, I mean, she done goofed. You can't let your beanie addiction. Why does she need so many beanies?
Truly.
And I don't think that we should be doing a tit for tat here thing on like, I'm getting you an iPhone 14.
Right.
But it is kind of relevant in this situation.
Yes.
Because what? She's
get him
using
anything.
his debit card to buy this stuff.
Well, because she lost hers and she's like Venmoing him, zelling.
Right. She's a Zell pervert.
She's a Zell perv.
Are you a Zell person?
No, only getting paid for this because Danny zells me.
Okay. So
other than that, Venmo all day,
I
baby.
feel like I only know of Zelle because of professional exchanges like that. If we're splitting a dinner bill and you hit me with, do you have Zelle?
I'm like, I guess. Like, I just set it up because of this. Like, I wouldn't have been able to really know how to do it otherwise.
I have a small community bank and they didn't accept Zelle.
Yeah.
So it was just for the longest time, it was just like, that's literally not an option for me, dog.
Yeah,
you got to get
sorry.
Venmo like a normal drug dealer.
I was about to like change the wording when it says she's zelling me. I was just going to say Venmo because I feel like it's like that Uber thing. Like, that's just the blanket term for it.
It's like if somebody had the audacity to say, oh, let me Bing that for you really quick.
Oh,
you
Yahoo search
fucking
that.
lunatic. That's not what the word is.
Actually, one of my thoughts was, which I don't think it is true because he's aware of this purchase, but I was like, what if she's buying the beanie for him?
That, I guess, is a possibility.
Yeah.
But the track record shows this gal can't get enough beanies.
That's true. She is. Yeah, it would be kind of like that story that you told when your dad got your mom the gun.
Yeah. Yeah, she's buying him a beanie to give to him. Who's,
to then
oh,
wear
you don't
it.
want the beanie? I guess I'll just have to keep
Lord,
it.
I don't know. I have so many.
I think that the OP is really in line with reality here, where it is just shitty to say, hey, I can't afford to buy anything for you right now, but I can afford to buy myself a nice hat.
I know.
A $62 beanie.
$62 beanie. That's insane.
How much are they going for these days?
I mean, I would have guessed like $30 at the most.
That's what I would have thought. Yeah. Because the last time I remember buying a beanie for myself was probably early college. And that could not have been more than $28 at the time. So that would I'm rounding down a little bit from your 30, but I'm thinking like 2009, 2010, probably $28.
Yeah.
After tax.
I did just buy a $40 hat though.
Well, a hat.
That's
what kind of hat? Like with a rim?
It was the Venice hat that we spent 20 minutes on the other day.
Well, it says Venice on it.
It says Venice upside down and backwards, honey.
You got to pay a premium for that.
Exactly. But yeah, 62 seems a lot for a beanie. But and that's the thing too. It would be like one thing if it was like, she was buying like a $20 beanie or like, I don't know, something that wasn't insane. Like in this case, it is such an expensive price for this item. So it really is like almost kind of throwing it in his face. Like, oh yeah, look, I have 4 that we know of perfectly good beanies.
She
that
definitely
just
has more beanies. This is not a new buying pattern for her.
No. She's got a ton that she's hiding somewhere. It's just all that's all she's spending her money on. That's why she doesn't have enough money to buy him anything. She's just addicted to these beanies.
She's jonesing for them.
She is.
Brian and Robin, that's the username. A little bit of a weird one there. Yeah, hitting us with an ESH. If she can afford a $62 beanie, then she's not really suffering from financial hardship. But you did tell her that you didn't really care, so that wasn't really true. Oh, go fuck yourself, Brian and Robin. That's such a contrarian take of like, yeah, he probably didn't care that much until he found out that she's just
got money to spend.
Oh, you know what you do? You return the iPhone 14 and you take that money and buy that many beanies. And just give her a box full of beanies.
You seem to really like beanies.
I figure if you need at least 4, you could use several hundred of them.
Yeah. Oh, and he got her a bunch of clothes too. That's got to be at least $200-$300.
I will only cut her slack in this situation if her love of beanies is a new development and it's a this is who I am now situation.
Right. Or it's like a straight up addiction at this point.
If it's a long-standing addiction, I have no sympathy here. If she just discovered how nice a good snug toque, which I prefer toque. That's what they call them in Canada.
Yeah.
I prefer that way more over a beanie. So much more dignified. What's that on your head? Beanie?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah, I don't think, I mean, look, I would be annoyed by this too if I was him. Like, I can't give him any dings here at all.
Zero dings for the beanie victim.
So AITA for telling my girlfriend she should be buying me gifts for Christmas. I think we're doing another NTA.
NTA clean all the way down for Black Friday so far, folks.
All right, Jake, take us out.
AITA for being excited about all the Black Friday fight videos about to happen. Is it wrong that I find entertainment from seeing shoppers try to kill each other over this holiday season? AITA. That's it. That's the whole situation.
One sentence, guys.
Wasn't on Black Friday, but it was right around that point. It was during the peak of holiday craziness. And this didn't turn into like an outright riot or anything, but it did cause a big fuss. This lady had been going around the store and switching price tags on things. Oh. So she was basically like, she was trying, and it was really poorly thought out because the SKUs didn't match, the names didn't match, but she was trying to say, this item is over this price, so I am allowed to buy it for that price. She was trying to use this new school retail witchcraft on us to just force like the prices she wants. But she was making enough of a scene that people were starting to misunderstand what was going on. So they were just hearing her shout like, I should be able to buy this Xbox for $100. And then like somebody behind her is like, an Xbox for $100, rabble, 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 rabble. And just like this like big kind of commotion get going.
Yeah.
I never saw anything devolve into outright violence. My mom has a story. She says the only time she ever bought a toy, like the only time she remember a toy being like the it item of the season where she saw people literally like pulling them out of each other's hands was Buzz Lightyear. When Buzz Lightyear came out with Toy Story, which is, it's funny because Toy Story, they insinuate that happened with Buzz Lightyears because they were so popular.
That's right.
So Disney actually created their own demand in the supply and demand by just creating a line in the movies that, hey, look at how popular this toy that doesn't exist is. Guess what? Now it exists. Yeah. Go get it. And she said it was like absolutely crazy, and she got me one, which was very, very sweet. I wasn't even like the biggest Toy Story fan, but I remember she had to get one that was like a different color than the normal Buzz Lightyear, and I didn't care. I was like, okay, this is cool.
Oh, they had different colors?
Yeah, he was like chrome or something because like the green ones really, really went fast. But
of course,
I think that's kind of, and it's fitting that this is our last situation because it kind of brings us around full circle. My biggest complaint with Black Friday is that it's completely created by us. It's a bullshit holiday like St. Patrick's Day or Valentine's Day where it's just a consumer-driven holiday that exists for no other reason than to get us to buy specific items and stimulate the economy in specific sectors. So it's not like this is any kind of tradition or any kind of thing that exists for a specific reason. It's just there because it profits somebody else.
Yeah.
And it's crazy to me that we do see this level of, and I think it's calmed down in recent years. I don't feel like I've seen as many videos of people getting trampled and that kind of shit.
No.
Which, by the way, OP, we'll bring it back to this. If you're getting your jollies off of trampling videos, I got some beef with that. That's pretty grim. That's pretty fucked up.
Grim.
If we're talking like, street fight videos, that's a little weird, but you do you, I guess. It's still, I'm not as into violence as OP seems to be here. I can understand videos of people acting a fool in retail
there
environments.
There are some pretty funny ones out there, but it's like I'm not really trying to watch these videos.
Yeah,
like I've always gotten the ick from Black Friday. Like it was just never a thing of mine. I understand. Like I think it's one of those things that it's a tradition for some people. Like they love to go and do it. Yeah.
And I have met some people who are really good at it. One of my friend's moms will come home with awesome hauls, and she's always adamant of like, it really wasn't that bad. I just know where to shop.
Yeah,
so
they
I think,
know the deals.
Yeah.
My really good friend is like that. She is like, ever since we were kids, I met her in high school. She was like the coupon queen. Like, I don't know what it was, but she always had some kind of a deal. And she's like still like that today. And I'm like, it's like, it's a skill. It's really a skill. I'm like, I don't even know where to look for this stuff. It's a good friend to have, though.
Yeah, definitely. Because, a lot of the big, like, we've been talking about it this whole episode, but Best Buy's really not a great place to shop for Black Friday. They're not really.
They don't have too many good deals.
They'll have some, but it'll be limited stock on, like, a specific model of TVs or something. And if you're not there right at opening, you're not getting them.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I guess I can see how part of Black Friday is a scam. I would still need somebody to explain it to me. Alex the Dank disagrees with both of us, by the way. They say, fuck no, I go decked out in gear ready for a fucking mush.
Oh, so Alex Dedank is going. He's in the video.
They are an instigator. They are causing problems.
Oh, like they don't even care about the shopping.
No.
They are going there too much.
They just want the conflict. Stir that pot, baby. I guess, you know what? I am going to say a YTA for somebody who's getting their jollies off on videos of outright violence. But if you're just looking up videos of people acting like crazies and not hurting anybody.
Yeah, not hurting anyone.
If nobody's getting hurt, I'll give you an NTA. If people are getting hurt, I got to give you a YTA.
Yeah, we could do a soft YTA.
Soft YTA.
I guess, but yeah, that's Black Friday. Cyber Monday, I gotta love Cyber Monday.
Deals.
I will be shopping. Don't you forget it, okay?
Just need a phone for that one.
Just need a phone. Laying in your bed. You don't even gotta get up. You don't gotta put
Fantastic.
pants on, honey. Well, that's the app. Bye.
Bye.